Welcome to the AgriMinds podcast. If you're in agriculture and feeling the weight of responsibility, juggling work, family, and everything in between, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Casey Bull, coach, speaker, and founder of AgriMinds. Each week, we'll talk about the real side of leadership, how to think clearly, manage your time, set boundaries, and show up with intention, both at home and in the field. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to the AgriMinds podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about something super practical because, listen, I think pretty much everybody in the entire agriculture industry deals with this, and it is stress. And I have been researching different things to help relieve stress, and all of them require this big, heavy, intimidating thing, whether it's a course or signing up for therapy or having a conversation or joining a group. And I think all of those things work really well. I mean, here I am promoting the AgriMinds course, but sometimes we just need how can I just get through right now? I need something that I can do right now before I walk into the room, before I pick up the phone call, whatever the thing is. I want to help you find relief, even if it is just temporary, to get through whatever is causing you stress, whatever is making your nervous system feel out of whack. Because here's the deal. I want to get really realistic. I think so often there are fixes out there, but they're not something that we feel like we can apply right now. They are things as okay, when the busy season is over, okay, cool, I'll join that course then, or I will read that book when I have time, or I will listen to that podcast episode when I have time to really dive in to trying to fix this thing that we're dealing with, which is stress. And so I wanted to share with you 5 very powerful but quick and practical ways to calm your nervous system, to find relief for these stress triggers while you're still dealing with everyday things, while you're still in everyday life. I think that so many people within the agriculture industry have been so stressed out for so long that, one, they don't even realize where it began. And 2, they don't even realize that they're running on this very activated nervous system. And I think that many people think that this is just normal. This is just adulthood. This is just what it's like to be in agriculture. This is just this season, whatever. But here's the thing. When your body stays in that fight or flight mode long enough, eventually it does start affecting everything else in the worst way. It is a ripple effect. It shows up in how patient you are with your kids or your spouse or even your team. It shows up in the lack of sleep that you're getting. It shows up in how you react when there is a challenge. It shows up in how well you communicate. It shows up in the levels of energy that you get throughout your day and your ability to think clearly. And your physical health too. It shows up. Maybe you're gaining some more weight. Maybe your face is breaking out. Maybe you got more aches and pains than you normally have. That is all from chronic stress. And what's hard is that many people don't have the option to just walk away from the stress. The work still needs to get done. The people are still depending on you. Life is going to keep moving. And so today I want to walk you through 5 practical stress relief tools that you can use almost anywhere at any time. In the truck, in the combine, in the office, before a hard conversation, in the middle of the stressful day, whatever you need to do, wherever you are, if you are feeling stressed, this is an episode for you. There are no fancy tools. These are not long, hour-long routines. These are just practical things that can help you regulate your nervous system in real life. And the very first one that we're going to be talking about is box breathing. The first one is box breathing because this is one that I personally use all the time. This is one of the quickest ways to calm your nervous system because your breathing directly impacts your brain and your body. When we get stressed, most people start breathing shallow and fast without even realizing it. Your heart starts pumping. You're not really like focusing on taking deep breath and giving your body more oxygen. And your body will start to interpret that as, uh-oh, something's wrong. So box breathing is going to help interrupt that signal. So here's how this works. I want you to imagine a box, literally a square, 4 sides, okay? And I want you to, in your mind, or even if you draw a square on a piece of paper, trace the outside of the box with your finger as I give these next instructions. So we're going to first put our finger or imagine our finger going down the line of one side of the box. And we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds as we trace, let's just say, the bottom of the box. And then we're going to exhale for 4 seconds as we go up the other side of the box. And then we'll hold for 4 seconds as we go across the top again. Okay, so let's do this in real life because I want you to have a practical takeaway before this episode is even over. And here we are just a couple minutes in, and I want you to get a quick win. Okay, so we're going to do a couple rounds of breathing real quick. So let's slow down for a second. I want you to breathe in deeply into your belly and then into your rib cage and then into your chest. So I want you to fill your belly up, fill your rib cage up, and then fill your chest up with this inhale through your nose and breathe in deeply for 4 seconds, okay? Hold for 4 seconds. 3, 4. Exhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Okay, we're going to do this together. We're going to repeat, okay? Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Hold. In. Hold. Exhale. Hold. That's it. That's how box breathing works. And even if you didn't do the breath work while I was speaking, you probably did slow down mentally for just a second. And this almost sounds too simple, but it works. It's going to slow your nervous system down. It helps your brain stop reacting so emotionally. And honestly, this is one of my favorite things to do before I have a hard conversation, before I jump on a stressful call, before I, dive into anything that I think will cause me some stress. And I even do this while I'm feeling like I'm starting to get overwhelmed. It's like, okay, slow down for a second, do a couple deep breaths, and it definitely helps. And you can do that as many times as you need throughout the day. And I honestly feel like this is one of the most powerful yet underutilized tips for stress is just simply breathing. So give that a try. And like I said, you can do that as many times as you need throughout the day. Okay, let's move into the second tip. This is called the 10-second pause. This is about learning to pause before you react. This one has helped me so much because when something stressful happens, your brain has like 10 seconds to decide, is this something that's stressful and I need to react, or am I safe? Am I good? So let's just say a text comes in, a problem happens, someone says something happens that goes wrong before you can do anything about it. You spill the beans, whatever. You've got 10 seconds to decide, is this going to trigger me? And do I want to get stressed out about this? And your nervous system is going to want to defend, panic, spiral, snap, emotionally react. But one of the most powerful things that you can do is create a very small pause between the trigger and the reaction, even if it's just 10 seconds. That pause gives your thinking brain time to catch up with your emotional brain. Let's just say my 3-year-old spills a glass of milk. I have 10 seconds to get pissed or choose to do something else. I can get stressed. I can choose to let those chemicals in my brain be released and cause the stress reaction or I can do something else. And a great way to do it is to smile. It's going to throw so many people off when a glass of milk spills and you decide to smile. It's going to change so much. But what it actually is doing is it's tricking your brain. You see, your body and your brain are connected, and studies show that smiling, even intentionally or like forced at first, can help reduce stress hormones and increase chemicals associated with feeling calmer and safer. Because when you smile, those endorphins are going to get released. When you have that stress trigger, the opposite happens. Now, what I'm not saying is smile your way through real problems. I'm not saying smile and be snarky when something stressful happens and you make a joke out of it. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that your body is going to respond to the signals that you give it. And that's why your posture matters. That's why your breathing matters. And that's why your facial expressions matter. Sometimes just simply pausing, breathing, and softening your face will interrupt the stress cycle enough to help you respond differently. So even if you don't do a full-on cheesy grin, ear-to-ear grin, even if you just kind of like give yourself a little smirk, like just a small little smile, like, okay, that's stressful, but I'm tricking my brain. Like even just trying to do that will interrupt that pattern. If you're listening to this episode thinking, wow, this is exactly how I've been feeling lately, I want you to know you are not alone. Agriminds is not about adding one more thing to your already full plate. It's about helping you navigate those pressures, the stress, leadership, and responsibilities that you're already carrying with more clarity, support, and intention. Inside Agriminds, you'll find practical tools, coaching, leadership development, and a community full of agriculture professionals who truly understand the realities of this life. If you're ready to stop just surviving your days and start leading them with more intention, the link to learn more is in the show notes. Okay. Tip number 3, change your physical environment. This third tip is incredibly underrated in my opinion. Changing your environment for even just like 2 minutes. So right now I work in the basement of my house. There are no windows down here, cinder blocks, rural country farmhouse, right? If I start to get stressed out, the best thing I can do is just walk upstairs and go outside. Or even if I just walk upstairs, it's just a different environment. And I used to do this too, like when I was riding in the tractor 24/7, I feel like. Let's just say we're in the tractor during harvest and dad says something not so pleasant over the radio and you get triggered, you get frustrated. Even if you just like stop the tractor, step outside for 2 seconds to get a little bit of fresh air. I did use this trick. I would say, hang on, I think I got a big rock or like a fence post or something in the cultivator or whatever. Like you could stop the tractor, get out, just take a walk around. Or here's even something else that you can use to be like, hang on, I think I just saw an antler, right? Like dad is not going to get mad if you stop the tractor to go pick up an antler out of the field because he doesn't want to buy a new tractor tire. So even if you just do something like that, just to get yourself 2 minutes out of your environment and change things up for a second, it's one of the fastest ways to reset your brain. So step outside, walk into a different room, get a little fresh air, look at the sky, physically move your body. A short walk will definitely help if you have the opportunity to do that. Movement helps your body process the stress hormones. So even if your body does release the stress hormone, it needs to process it. Think of it as like maybe sometimes when you're stressed, you feel zingy. You got to get that energy out. You got to shake it off. I don't know. You got to get that energy processed. And sometimes just moving your body is the best way to do that. Tip number 4, name what's actually stressing you. The 4th tip is something that I think a lot of people avoid. Maybe because it sounds simple, maybe because they don't know what it is, but I would actually figure out where's the stress coming from. Name the actual stress. Everything is probably what you're thinking, like everything is stressful, but I want to encourage you to be specific. What exactly is bothering you right now? Vague stress feels overwhelming. Clarity calms the brain. So if you can get clear on where this is coming from, it will help you move through the process. Sometimes I'll literally ask myself, what is the actual problem here? Is it this or is it actually that? And often it's just one conversation or one decision or one uncertainty or one unresolved situation that I just can't seem to let go of. And then our brain has turned it into like, my whole entire life is chaos. This entire job sucks, or my entire relationship is whatever, right? Like if you can name it specifically, it's going to help your brain organize it instead of emotionally flooding you because it doesn't know how to help you solve the problem. So it's sending all the signals. But if you can help name it, it's going to be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. I'm going to send you this feeling to help you process it. And the final tip, number 5 here, is stop consuming noise for just a few minutes. This is huge because I think so many of us are constantly distracted by noise. We're overstimulated. I mean, let's be real. We've probably got kids screaming in the background. We've got radios playing. We've got people, making noise, doing something around us. Our environments are probably always so busy. Slow down, turn off the radio, plug your ears, whatever you got to do. But I would just stop consuming noise for just a few minutes. Many of us wake up and the moment our eyes are open, we check the emails, we scroll social media, we check the news, we take the phone call, answer the text, jump right into stimulation. And our brain doesn't shut off at all the rest of the day. It never gets to experience quiet. Your nervous system needs quiet. Your nervous system needs moments where it's not constantly processing information. It needs a second to rest too, not just your physical body, but your mental, emotional, and spiritual, and your nervous system. All of that needs to rest too. Even just 5 minutes of quiet will help. No phone ringing, no scrolling, no input, no noise, just 5 minutes of quiet. But I will call this out because this might be you. Many people avoid silence. Many people don't want to be alone in their own thoughts because maybe they'll finally hear what's actually going on internally. Maybe it'll actually process what their body has been trying to tell them about what's wrong. And that can feel scary. It can feel overwhelming. But I want to encourage you to not avoid the silence. I want you to embrace it because it's trying to tell us something. It's a signal. Our emotions are a signal. And it's just like the dash on the tractor. It's just like the dash in the car. Like when the check engine light comes on, it's not because it's bored and just feels like flashing. Something needs attention. And you can't ignore it forever because then another problem will go wrong and it might end up being too late. That's why people in their 30s have heart attacks. That's why relationships end. That's why people get the "we don't need you here anymore" email and get let go. Because it's all been adding up for so long. And I'm telling you, it is a ripple effect and it does need addressed. And that's something that I would love to help you with. If that's something that you are like, okay, well, help me address it. Help me work through that. Help me navigate that. Click the link in the show notes. I'll definitely send you some resources. But give yourself a few minutes to just be quiet and listen to what your body's trying to tell you. Trust it. Okay, I got one more bonus tip for you. I want to add this in here. Right now, I want you to loosen your jaw. Just drop your jaw, unclench your hands, drop your shoulders, and just try and release some of that physical tension in your body. Pay attention to what it's telling you. A lot of people carry stress physically without even realizing it. Maybe your shoulder's been hurting or your back's been hurting. The tight jaw, the clenched hands, the tense shoulders, all those things, that's your body trying to tell you you are stressed out before your brain has caught up. So throughout the day, I want you to ask yourself, am I physically bracing right now? Like, am I preparing for impact? Just pay attention to that, and I bet you'll be surprised. And then I want you to drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, relax your hand, take a couple deep breaths, and shake it out. Those tiny physical resets matter, and they make a bigger impact than I think most people give them credit for. So to recap, the 5 stress relief tools that I shared today was box breathing, the 10-second pause before reacting, changing your environment, even if briefly, name the actual stressor specifically, and reduce constant noise and input. And then there was a bonus one I threw in there, which was pay attention to your physical tension in your body. None of these were complicated, were they? These were all very practical, very realistic things that you can use in your everyday life to help you reduce the stress. Those small nervous system resets done consistently will make a big shift over time. Stress relief is not about escaping your reality. It's about navigating it and learning how to maybe regulate yourself in a new way while living the same life. So maybe you can't eliminate the stress, but you can learn how to navigate it and process it differently moving forward. Thanks for being here today. If this episode resonated with you, make sure that you're following the AgriMinds podcast so you don't miss what's coming next. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, send this their way. These are the conversations that more people in agriculture need to hear. Talk to you next time.